This week on the Mystery Files All-Stars special, our first case is past lives.
Past lives?
Past lives?
Like reincarnation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
kinda?
past lives. Like I lived and I'm gone. This is weird. We were just talking about this yesterday, weren't we, in the car?
I died. I served. And then I died again.
And you died again. I was just talking about this in the car yesterday. Remember when we were going to the gym?
Mm-hmm.
Danielle and I were talking about the movie Fluke.
I don't know
about
what
the
that
dog. Reincarnation.
Oh, it's not like
I told
a
her to
Dog's
watch
Purpose, where it's like there are a bunch of different dogs.
No, it's one. It's kind of a similar idea, but it's not the same. But yeah, we were talking about it yesterday in the car. But let's get on to the case. The idea that people are born and reborn, that we all have had past lives, date back at least 3,000 years. Discussions of the subject can be found in the ancient traditions of India, Greece, and the Celtic Druids, and reincarnation is a common theme among New Age philosophies. Those who believe in reincarnation say clues about our past lives can be found in our dreams, our bodies, and our souls. The following psychological, emotional, and physical phenomena all may hold hints as to who we once were. That's our intro. Bow, bow, bow.
Yeah, because I feel like past lives plays a big part in like maybe not all cultures and religions, but a good amount of them for sure.
Does.
Like it's something that comes up a lot, I feel like.
Do you remember when we did our past life regression session?
Yes.
And I was just talking about this the other day because I was telling someone they have to try it.
Guys, it's wild. This was when we were a radio show. I think we talked about it. No,
wait, we didn't even do the past life regression session in the time that we did this case.
Yeah, that was after we did this
might have
case.
talked about when we did a past life regression session in a different episode for something else. But, like, if you don't know, Logan and I, throwback, when we were basically orientation leaders, we lived in our apartment by ourselves for a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. And so during one of those times, our first time doing this, we did a past life regression session to a YouTube video, and it was crazy. Wild. And wasn't it some way we were kind of connected in the past life? Do you remember?
I think so. I don't remember. Because you said there was imagery in yours that was in mine, I think.
Wasn't there a field outside yours? You were inside of a farmhouse and I was outside of a farmhouse.
Yes.
Because the only thing I remember about mine,
I remember like that green pasture.
Yes, I remember I was in this green field. I got a little off topic. This is my past life we're talking about.
This is our podcast.
This is our podcast. But I was literally in this green field. Obviously the field's green. And in the background there was this farmhouse way in the distance, and in like this little thing I was like this woman who was pregnant, and I was holding a baby, and the baby was crying in my arms, and I was dying, and I heard gunshots in the distance. Dramatic. I heard gunshots in the distance, and that was what I remember. Yeah, and that was my past life.
And I think my theory for yours is that you were in like the war or something. Like you were in some type of battle or some sort.
There was something. It was like long grass. Yeah. Like I remember it very vividly. But the thing is, I have an active imagination. My active imagination, or was it like actually my past life?
Well, that's the thing is like
it's hard to tell.
During that video, they were like, "Go with your gut, go with your instinct." I'm like, my gut and my instinct are insane.
Yeah.
Like I can't trust if my gut is actually my gut or if I'm just crazy.
Well, the thing is, they're also telling people who have like experience, one, storytelling, and two, like writing scripts.
Yeah.
To like visualize
a past life. It's
I'm literally just writing a script in my head. What do you mean? How do I know I'm not just creating this in my brain because I am a writer? You know what I mean?
It's kind of cute at the same time because you're like self-inserting. You're like,
but I'm like, where is this memory coming from? I don't know, but yeah, that was my past life.
Oh my gosh!
And all you remember from yours is inside of a house. Is that what you said, or just?
That was so long ago. Fully don't remember.
I remember nothing about the second time we did it. I don't remember. So we did it another time with Danielle.
We did do another time with
Danielle.
But
I don't remember that time.
Stories.
But yeah, that was our past life, guys. Go try it. It's on YouTube. The ads kind of suck, so like...
It's kind of fun. Yeah, no, that's the thing. They like put you in a trance.
Yeah, you get into it and it's like, okay, here's an ad.
It's like 45 to an hour long video and you're like deep in trance, and then they're just like, stop by and get a Hyundai Subaru.
I was just gonna say Toyota Honda. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna flip my lid. Just let me have my peace.
It's the most crazy thing in the world. Like I just remember we were like, oh my god.
The thing is, it's hard enough for me to like get into the zone when I'm like doing that kind of stuff. Like I can't really, I don't know, go into trances or anything like that. So stuff like that, it's like it's already interrupting me. How am I supposed to do it?
Exactly.
But go figure it out. Go see if you can do it. Let us know how it goes for you. But
please.
Do you want some signs that you've had a past life? What
I
signs would
do.
you look for?
What,
Well,
you're asking
I was
me,
going
or
to
is that
ask.
rhetorical?
It could be rhetorical. So the first one, the first one would be deja vu, which everyone
Oh,
loves.
great. Love that one.
So most of us have experienced a sudden, surprising feeling that an event we are experiencing has happened to us exactly this way before. Psychologist Arthur Funkhauser of the
Great
C.G.
name.
Jung Institute has broken down this phenomena into 3 categories. So it's deja vécu, an event already experienced or lived through; deja senti, something already felt, perhaps triggered by a voice or music; or deja visite, a place so familiar that we feel we've been there before. So I remember this stuff like vaguely
I
from
do
when we
too.
talked about
I
it before.
remember.
So
I
yeah, there's
remember it
like
too.
different things that trigger these different experiences.
Mhm.
I feel like the one that I most commonly have experienced was the the deja vécu, an event already experienced or lived through. Like I'll have a moment
Yeah.
when I'm staring at something and I'm like, oh, I've done this before. Like
You're
I'm
like,
cleaning
yeah,
a
it's like a
specific
repetitive
thing.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you realize you have patterns in your life and you're like, oh no, this is weird.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I kind
like
of just wake up and do routine work.
it's creepy.
Yeah.
I don't like it. But although scientists and psychiatrists insist there are neurological explanations for these phenomena, others believe these strange feelings could be vague, fleeting memories of past lives. So I feel like for me, I feel like it would mostly just feel like it happened in a different timeline at the same time.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel when it happens. I'm like, did I
Mm.
do this in a different timeline? Or
I mean,
like
I
I
wonder if
broke some
it's
wall?
I wonder if it's similar to maybe not necessarily the same place, but like maybe a similar situation or the same feeling. Like,
Yeah.
you grow as a person. Do you remember how like you grew in that moment in one of your past lives?
Yeah.
That would be
I don't
crazy.
know. It's also like the butterfly effect. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, what if this happened in a different timeline? But like this is the timeline that I chose to like wipe this thing off.
Right.
Or this is the timeline I decided to do that.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like I did it before.
That's literally like, again, I think I talked about this already, like
Yeah.
literally last episode, but that's literally the plot also of like Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh,
Like
I need
the
to watch it
whole-
still.
The
I'm
whole
so behind.
concept is very much like, what if I wiped this thing instead of that thing, and how does that make like a parallel dimension, going back to another case we've done before.
Parallel dimensions.
So it's like
Yeah.
you have like those flashback moments of like, why do I feel like I've done this?
I love it. It freaks me
Yeah.
out, but I like it.
It's very fun.
So now we're gonna get onto the idea of dreams and nightmares. So first off, this idea scares the heck out of me because if my nightmares have anything to do with a past life, then
You're done.
I didn't do
You're
well
done.
in my existence as a soul. I'm just saying.
You were like Final Girl a lot, or Scream Queen.
Yeah, I'm final girl in every timeline, and that's just not fair. So,
You haven't been in this one yet, but just give it time.
Just give it time.
Give it time.
I think I've been through enough. I think I could quit.
I think I actually want to retire now. I don't think I want to be a final girl anymore.
At a ripe age of 23, I think I'm sick of it. I think I've been through enough, and I'm ready for my grandma era.
It's grandma era. There you go.
My calm grandma era. I'm ready.
Yes.
So, dreams and nightmares. Memories of past lives can also manifest themselves as recurring dreams and nightmares, believers say. Dreams of mundane or ordinary life activities may suggest a specific local you inhabited during a past life. People who appear regularly in your dreams may have had a special relationship with you in another life. Likewise, nightmares may be reflections of past life traumas that may have clung to our spirits and haunt our sleep.
Yep, sounds about right.
Creepy.
Yep, sounds right.
This also reminds me, I read this book last year, I want to say. It's called Meet Me in Another Life. And it was like these two people who, like, kept dying, and then they would meet each other in another life. And, like, the girl kept remembering this guy's soul, but he wasn't remembering her at first. And they couldn't remember, like, they couldn't figure out how they kept reconnecting in these different lives.
That's such a cool episode concept.
I know.
I mean, episode, that's such
Movie.
a cool book concept. Movie, same
Yeah,
thing.
would be a great movie. The book, but then the
Wow.
book takes like this crazy turn, and you're just like, what the actual heck? Like
Right.
it turns into like a sci-fi type vibe.
Okay, that's cool.
You have to read it. Meet Me in Another Life. If you're a reader, go stinking check that out, because that, crazy.
Wrote it down.
Write it down.
Yeah, no, that just reminds me, Like, there's this one guy who, like, shows up in my dreams all of the time, and, like,
Oh.
honestly, no, it's, like, good. He's, like, cute.
Okay. Is he cute?
No, he's, like, very cute, and I've never seen this man in
Yeah.
my life. They're always, like, saying, like, oh, well, you know, like, in your dreams, this person, like, you've had to have seen them somewhere at some point. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've never seen this man in my life. Sorry to this man.
What if he was, like, an extra in a movie or something, and you saw him in the background and didn't, like, understand that it was a person in, like, a movie? Like,
maybe,
how else?
but I like being right also, so I'm gonna say no.
Yeah.
Um,
You're crazy.
Also, speaking on the trauma part, like with the heart, I must have had, you know how yesterday you were like, Logan, you have such a big heart?
You do have a big heart.
I have a big heart because of all the traumas of the past life.
Oh
like,
my
if we're talking
gosh.
big heart,
yeah,
it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with what I did to my darn self
you
in
just
the
keep
past.
on. You keep on piling it on.
It's like a slop, like just more slop, like.
Wah, wah. At first I thought I thought you were trying to lead to the fact that, like, yeah, my heart's so big, just like my ego. That's where I thought you were going.
That would have been a good joke. I'm writing that for next episode.
It would have been good. Write it. I think your ego is perfectly fine.
Aw,
you're
thank
perfect.
You think I have just enough ego?
You maybe a little more. Sometimes you gotta lower it, but like right now you can.
I'm just right there.
Yeah, you're right there. You can go a little higher though.
Okay.
I believe in you.
I'm
you
better
can
than
go. You can go a little over the edge. I can see it.
I'm better than
you. You need to start pouring. Perfect. Lower it now. Let's put you back at the bar. Okay, so on to fears and phobias. It's beneficial to humans to have fears of things that are dangerous to us, but many people suffer from phobias that are completely irrational. Fear of water, birds, certain numbers, mirrors, plants, specific colors, the list goes on and on. For those who believe in past lives, these fears may be carried on from a previous lifetime. A fear of water may indicate past life trauma. For example, perhaps in another manifestation, you met your end by drowning.
Oh.
Do you have any weird irrational fears?
Like, I feel like I have a lot of the normal ones. Like, snakes freak me out a lot. Like, I just never like snakes. But I think that happened in this life. Like, I think I know why I'm afraid of snakes.
Did you get bitten? Or they're just creepy to you?
No, we just had snakes, like, growing up and stuff. And then also, maybe I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but the Harry Potter movies actually messed me up. Specifically the first one.
Yeah.
When he falls into the tank. And he's, like, in there with the anaconda thing.
The mega snake. Was that the first one? Or the second one?
That's the first one.
No, that is the first one.
And then in the second one, I think, is the one with the basilisk.
Yeah.
When it's like
Chamber
a giant snake and it's gonna like murder you.
Open that chamber of secrets.
I'm terrified of snakes now. Quit playing.
That's what he says. Throwback.
You better. Ooh.
Also, Rip Hagrid. Just wanted to say.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Passed away. Rest in peace, good sir.
Rest in peace.
But yeah.
What about you?
Oh,
fears.
I have plenty of irrational fears. Well, here's the ones from my childhood.
Right.
My irrational fears from childhood, which I've already definitely said on the podcast before. I was afraid of, like, bathtub drains, because I was afraid I would go down the drain and die. I was afraid to, like, walk under buildings that had icicles, because I was afraid I'd get stabbed.
I don't think I knew that one. That one's a real fear, though.
That one was. Well, because they were on my house when I was little. So I was always scared that, like, that was going to die if it fell on me. I'm trying to think. I feel like maybe I had a lot more. Oh, I was afraid of stairs that had big gaps in between them, because I was afraid I was going to fall between the gaps and die. But yeah, so normal fears.
Yeah, pretty normal.
As a child.
Standard
fears. But yes, now we're going to get on to some spooky examples of past life stories.
Ooh.
We've got the Pollock twins. In 1957, two sisters, Joanna and Jacqueline Pollock, and their friend Anthony were tragically killed in a car accident as they walked to their local church in Northumberland, England. Their parents were left grief-stricken. John and Florence hoped and prayed their daughters would come back, and it seemed their prayers were answered. 1 year later, twin girls, Jennifer and Jillian, were born. The Pollocks were surprised to find that Jennifer, the younger twin, had birthmarks on her body and face in exactly the same place as Jacqueline had. With that began a series of uncanny similarities between the twins and their dead sisters. At the age of 2, the twins started to ask for toys that had once been owned by Jacqueline and Joanna. Which is already getting creepy.
Yeah, no, I remember this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Literally, I don't think we covered this case in like 3 years, and I remember now.
You're like, it's
Yeah,
coming back to me.
that one's crazy.
So
Nuts.
the girls, their claimed parents had never seen or heard about the toys before. So the girls' parents said, yeah, they didn't know what these toys were. At 4, they began to recognize places they had never been or seen before. One time they pointed to a school they claimed to be their school and that they remembered playing in the playground behind it. The school was the one that Jacqueline and Joanna had attended when they were alive. So that's essentially that story in like a nutshell. Like just a bunch of weird stuff these girls like knew about when they had no reason to know about. And were like, that's my school.
I wouldn't know what to do with that. Like as a parent, that's like a lot. Like to like have to
yeah,
deal with.
and I'm
Just,
sure
like,
that would mess you up. Like if you've lost like 2 children,
something very tragic, and then it's like the kids are kind of like, because you want to get over that trauma and like move past it, but then it's like if they keep kind of giving those same signs, it's like it's scary.
I mean, I feel like that could really go both ways. Like it could either like make you full of more grief because you miss your other 2 daughters, or it would give you like a sense of hope of like, okay, they're living through these girls.
Yeah,
if that makes
or at
any
least
sense.
it's like it's not a coincidence, even if it's not them. It's kind of like, wow, like this is something, and I want to find meaning in this.
Yeah, and it's nice that they can find meaning in it. But yeah, so those 2 girls were one. And then the story is called I Was Your Mom in Heaven. I'm like remembering all of these as soon as I start reading them. The story was called I Was Your Mom in Heaven. So it says, my 3-year-old said, I was your mom in heaven multiple times. When I was 6 weeks pregnant with her, my mom died unexpectedly the day she found out the secret that I was pregnant at 40 with what would be her last and 21st grandchild. That's a lot of kids. We were going to surprise her on her 75th birthday, 2 weeks later, but a niece let the secret out. When my girl was 4, we were looking through picture boxes. I have no family pictures posted in my house. Later that night, I realized my girl took 3 pictures of my mom and put them in her room. She's never seen pictures of my mom because when I asked her why she took those pictures, she said, because I'm pretty.
No.
Nope.
What's with kids just saying stuff?
I don't trust children.
Children, if you're listening, why do you say things like that?
Why do you
say things?
Why do you want to creep people out?
Yeah.
What are you benefiting from horrifying the people around you?
Oh my gosh.
What are you benefiting?
That's just something, like, every single case. It's just, they always gotta say something, like, absolutely bonkers.
You said you want to be scared? I gotcha. No.
Right, exactly.
Okay, and then we'll do one more.
Okay.
I'll do this one. Okay, this one's called This Little Boy's Memory of Being a Pilot. So James Langer began waking up screaming when he was 2. When his parents asked him what the matter was, he'd say, airplane crash on fire, little man can't get out. When he was 3, he checked over his toy plane like a pilot does during a pre-flight check.
Whoa.
He also identified a drop tank without ever being told what it was.
How would you even know that?
I know.
What year was this? Sorry.
It doesn't say.
Oh.
It says, under the instruction of counselor and therapist Carol Bowman, James's parents asked him to share his plane-related memories, and the nightmare subsided after that. He said he'd flown a Corsair, which was attacked by Japanese forces and crashed, leading to his death. James seemed to remember highly specific details from his life. The boat he departed from was called Natoma, he said, and someone named Jack Larson flew on his plane. His dad, Bruce, discovered that the Navy had an aircraft carrier called Natoma Bay, and there was a Jack Larson living in Arkansas. James signed drawings, James 3, and said he was shot at World War II's Battle of Iwo Jima. And sure enough, Bruce learned that a man named James N. Houston Jr. was shot and killed at Iwo Jima. James said the plane was hit to the engine, and similarly a rear gunner on the plane next to it told ABC News the plane was, quote, hit head-on right in the middle of the engine.
Wow, that's
horrifying.
Nuts. That's nuts. And that's why he probably kept checking the engine too, like making sure his little toy plane was like fine.
I don't like that.
That's
creepy.
Wow.
That reminds me of one time I was watching all these different YouTube videos on, there was some show about kids with like past lives, and there was a story of like this kid who was obsessed with the Titanic when he was little, and he kept telling these stories about like he would draw the Titanic from like memory and perfect, and he went to like this Titanic museum where you could like walk through the entire ship, and he was like, well, not walk through it, but there was like a little game type thing where you could
Oh,
act like
gotcha,
you were
gotcha.
walking through the ship.
That's cool though,
And
actually.
the thing is, he was naming all the different rooms and knew exactly where he was going, and he kept talking about how he died in a boiler room. This little boy. And he was having nightmares about dying in the Titanic.
That's wild.
It was a hot mess.
Oh my
but
gosh.
Yes.
I just
Past lives are whack.
I just like. Is that all of them? Like,
Yeah,
the
that's
past
all
lives
we
ones?
have for this case.
Okay.
And we can save all the this is a mystery until the end because
Okay.
this is all a mystery.
Everything is.
This is all a mystery. But yes, that was the past lives case.
I was just like thinking with that of like what depending on what years they were.
Yeah.
I could see like kids nowadays like going on YouTube and searching all this stuff and being
Yeah.
like, yeah, I was this in a past life or like doing this because I absolutely would have done that as a kid.
Yeah.
If we would have had because we had YouTube when we were kids, but
We did.
like, we didn't have as much accessibility to it. Like it was dial-up was still a thing.
Yeah.
But if I had very easy access to the internet, I'd be
Yeah.
on there on YouTube trying to be like, I want to learn how to do this,
Yeah.
and that. I'd be like, yeah, I used to be this in a past life.
Just to mess with people? You would, you
Yeah.
crazy.
I
That's
don't-
awful.
Well, that's what I'm thinking these kids did, but I'm pretty sure from what it sounds like these years are probably like before
These are like
internet timelines.
4-year-olds. The thing is, I feel like a 4-year-old would not even understand
You don't
how
think
to
a
even
4-year-old could go goo goo gaga and
goo goo
type up-
gaga. My plane crashed and the engine was shot down. Yeah, I don't think a kid's gonna know that.
That's pretty adult
Yeah.
language, I guess.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh.
A 4-year-old.
Wow. That's
yeah.
so wild. I just felt like past lives, even now when
Oh
we
my
were talking
gosh.
about that.
You
Like,
said deja vu.
right. I was back in our radio station studio.
Aw,
hearing
you
this
said,
case
let's
for the
pause
first
for a little
time.
break. That's what you said. You said, let's
did.
play Maggie Rogers' Past Life. That was the song we played back when we were a radio show.
Yeah, I cannot
Like-
believe we tried to do music. That was so funny.
Ah.
And now we can't, like, we'll go, I don't know if we have enough material for the show. And then it'll be like an hour and 20.
Yeah, that's how it always is, though.
Yeah.
We can't help ourselves. We'll talk us.
All right. So that was
Past
Tiffany's
lives.
case, Past Lives, our first all-star lineup of the Halloween special.